Before starting this course on career counseling, it is extremely important to understand why you should take your career choice seriously. In this video, we will help you understand the importance of making the right career choice for yourself. So, why is your career choice so important? It is important because it determines a lot of things in your life, including number 1, quality of life. Your career choice plays a huge role in deciding where you live, how flexible your life is, and the kinds of things you are able to do in your free time. Number 2, identity. Ask any elder person about their career and they will tell you about it as a part of their identity. They'll say something like, I am a journalist, instead of, I report news. Notice how everybody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And not, what do you want to do when you grow up? This shows that your career choice shapes your identity. Number 3, impact. Every human life touches thousands of other lives in so many different ways. If you select any 60-year-old person who is about to retire, take a time machine, find him as an infant, throw that infant into trash, and then come back to the present day, you'll find that a countless number of things around you have changed. So whatever career you choose, the world will be affected by it. Anything that determines your quality of life, your identity, and the impact that you make should be taken very seriously. And that includes your career choice also. So we hope that this short video could help you understand the importance of making the right career choice. Having done that, we will now move forward to start our career counseling course. We are pretty excited and we hope you are too. So, let's begin. See you.
Good evening, everyone. सबको स्वागत है. Welcome to day 64 of Pro Bono's live podcast. Firstly, welcome to the audience members. सबको स्वागत है. And of course, Mr. Sen and Pragya running the stream. And of course, a warm welcome to Muskan Ahuja, who's a pastry chef and an entrepreneur. So Muskan, firstly, welcome. आपको स्वागत है हमारे podcast में. And we are very happy and honored to have you here. So as I said, she's a pastry chef and an entrepreneur. मैं introduce कर देता हूँ मुस्कान जी को. A pastry chef and an entrepreneur, Muskan Ahuja started her baking journey when she was really young. But becoming a woman pastry chef has more hurdles to it than what it seems like on the outside. Never losing focus on her education, Muskan did a diploma from CCDS Okla and then a full-fledged diploma de patisserie from Lavone Academy of Baking Science and Pastry Arts, Bangalore. Now she's been running her own venture, that is Risata, for 4 years now and is now working on taking it to the next level. By the way, guys, if you want to check out Muskan's page, that is Risata, it's at Risata_by_Muskan, or you can visit Pro Bono's Instagram page and we've tagged her page on our latest post. So do check the page out. मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया, भूख लग रहा था, कल रात को बिरयानी ऑर्डर कर दिया मैंने वो फोटोज देख के. So firstly, having said that, Muskan, so a very warm welcome to the podcast. अगर अपने आप को आप इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हो in your own words and address the audience, please.
Yeah, sure. So, hi guys, I'm Muskan Ahuja. I'm 22-year-old and I'm an entrepreneur and a pastry chef, just like he rightly introduced me. So ever since I was a child, I wanted to be a pastry chef, and my dad does not let me do that because good girls don't do hotel management. Plus, I think my biggest flip side in life has been that I was an academically brilliant student. So for him, it came across as a shock about why someone who's so intelligent and has the potential to become a CA or a doctor or an engineer is going and being a pastry chef. But that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, I did not do HM, but then I did a 15-day course instead after my class 12th, and I think that's how it all started. I immediately opened my own home venture. I called it Risata, and then I've been running it for 4 years now. I take orders from home as and when they come. And I did this side by side with my college. I graduated in English honors from Hindu College. And as soon as my college ended, I went to Lavon Academy in Bangalore. It's one of the best in the country right now. They churn out a lot of pastry chefs every year. So I did their full-fledged 6-month diploma in pastry. And yeah, now I'm after that I trained at a month for a couple of months in Bangalore, and now I'm back and I'm planning to take Risata to the next level and see how can I turn it into a cloud kitchen. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
Great, awesome. So Muskan, आपने figure out कैसे किया? Like you were into firstly cooking, and then cooking maybe specifically being into desserts or pastry chef बनने के लिए. How did you figure that out? क्योंकि खाना तो हर कोई बनाता है, और एटलीस्ट हर कोई बनाने का सोचता है, मैगी के अलावा, of course. But how did you realize that you were
Yeah,
into
true.
this profession? Like you wanted to make this a profession, not just a hobby, or weekend पे कुछ पनीर वगैरह बना लेते हैं, that kind of thing.
Honestly, I think मैं chef बनी क्योंकि मुझे खाना बहुत पसंद है. Like honestly, that's the first reason I gave. I became a pastry chef because I love eating cakes, and no one in my home knows how to make that. So I would cry in front of my mom कि cake बना दो. She's like मुझसे नहीं होगा, मैं नहीं बना सकती. And cakes from outside at that time only on birthdays, one pineapple cake आ गया types. Then I really wanted to eat cakes, and I was like, I'm gonna make it. So I got the small pre-mixes from the supermarket, just where you put just butter and milk and you put it in the microwave and you get a cake in 5 minutes. And I did that and I was very happy, chalo, at least now I'm making a cake. That was when I was in class 6th or 7th. And I realized that, this is so much more interesting than studies. This is something where I can unleash my creative side. It makes me happy. For me, honestly, baking is like magic, because you're taking raw material and then at the end of the day you have a cake in front of you, which is something which is completely different from what you started with. And that fascinated me, and that's how I decided that this is what I want to be doing for the rest of my life, no matter what happens. And yeah, that's how I started.
Great. So Risata, basically your dream child. So could you speak a bit more about your dream child, Risata?
Okay, yeah. So there's a very interesting story behind the name actually. I was in class 7th and I remember my Sanskrit teacher, she asked me, "Beta, bade hoke kya banoge?" And I'm like, "Ma'am, I'll be a chef." And she's like, "Bol ke to sab hai, bade hoke hota nahi hai." I mean, that's true, right? As a child, I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be a jewelry designer. But by class 7th, I had decided that I want to be a pastry chef and I stuck by it. And in class 7, this is when I was just a child, I'm thinking about, okay, kya naam rakhna hai apni bakery ka? And then I was so obsessed with myself at that point of time. I wanted to name it after myself, and Muskan's cakes seemed to be too mundane. And then I started Googling words that resemble or are synonymous to smile or laughter, like my name. And English language, I did not find any name in the English language which I liked. And then I came across the Spanish, Italian. I checked all languages, and then I came across this word called risata, which translates to laughter. And that's how I actually came up with the name Risata. And then the tagline spread the laughter because I wanted to name it after myself. This was in class 7. Then, summer vacations, those 2 to 3 day courses that aunties in your neighborhood take. I went to one or two of them. I made cookies and then I would kill my mom. Let me make it. When neighbors give you some treats and then so you have to put something in it. And I was like, let me make cookies and then you can put those cookies and give it to them. I used to bake a lot for my family and friends and stuff like that. Then came class 12th and then I tried to convince my dad to let me do hotel management. He said no. His standard answer was they'll make you clean toilets and they'll make you change bed sheets, they'll make you cut onions. You can't do that. It's not allowed in the family. No one in our family has done it. It's a strict no. And I was like, fine, okay. Then I did a 18-day course. This is institute called CCDS in Delhi. I did that course right after my class 12 board exams. So this was in April 2014. Or, yeah, 2016, sorry. Yeah, and after that, I started up an Insta page, and then a few friends and family were generous enough to order with me, and then that's how it started. I honestly did not expect that kind of a popularity straight away. it just started with an Insta page and a lot of good faith. My teachers and my friends already knew about my passion, so they started ordering from me, and yeah, that's how it went. I kept on taking orders, investing money into my business, and then buying more and more tools, more equipment, increasing the menu, and then it's been 4 years now, and it's been a really beautiful journey, I would say.
बहुत ही बढ़िया and very inspiring as well. And before we get into the questions for today, before we get into the actual podcast, I do have an announcement to make. Pro Bono is glad to announce a sports management course that we are collaborating with the sports company, and we are glad to announce that the sports management course is now open for registrations. And in this course, you get to explore the various careers in sports management, and you get insights from industry professionals, and you get from our side and the guys from TSC, you get a step-by-step career planning for any sports management aspirants. Also, you get to connect to different popular sports figures and also institutes that are dealing with sports management. So guys, definitely stay tuned, and we are going to come out with more updates. Thank you. Now back to the podcast itself. Firstly, we have a few questions from Instagram. When we were doing some promotional stuff, obviously there were a few questions coming in. Let me pull them up. Just give me a sec. I'm still dealing with the technical issues on my laptop, so patience तो रखना पड़ेगा सबको. Yep. So firstly, the question was by Meghal Ahuja,
Okay.
who asked, "What is the secret to your dedication?"
The secret to my day, I think it's my passion. I'm crazy about what I do, and honestly, even if someone offers me a 1 lakh month ka job for, in any other field, I won't take it. I am happy earning less but doing what I really really like. It's my passion and my this constant need to satisfy myself, not just financially but also emotionally. Baking is just, it's a therapy for me. It makes me happy, and I think that's what I want to take it to the next level. I don't want to be another home baker out there who's just been doing this and it's doing well. But yeah, I want to take it to the next level, which is why I've been giving my, day and night to this, because yeah, I'm really, really passionate about it and I feel strongly about it. It's something that I really want to take to the next level.
Awesome. As it's been the theme for all our podcasts, passion trumps each and every aspect of life. When you're choosing a career, passion is at the very top. और उसके बाद में जो peripheral चीजें हैं, then you consider that. And there's another question from Instagram as well. Question by Glaze Glitter. Obviously, we don't know the actual name. She says, "Being a woman, what all problems did you face in this field?"
A lot, honestly, a lot. Number one, because family to begin with. I belong to a very patriarchal mindset kind of a family, so women aren't really allowed to work, which is why hotel management is a big no. Women are supposed to do a little more. I would say sophisticated jobs like be a teacher, be a CA, be a lawyer, be a doctor. Why do you want to be a chef? That was one. In the industry also, I have spoken to a lot of chefs when I was planning on taking up a job at a hotel. I spoke to a lot of women chefs, and honestly, one constant fact that all of them came up with is about horror stories that they've heard about hotels and restaurants, because see, all of these tend to be very male-dominated societies, male-dominated sectors. Even though when I was doing my course, out of 80 students there will be 70 girls and 10 boys. When you go and look at the statistics in a hotel, it's always men out there who are dominating the field. So yeah, you do kind of they'll make you feel a little inferior in the hotels, in the restaurants. You'll be surrounded by, also where I was training, there were like 10 12 males and just me and one more female. That is there. It's not like they cut you any slack. As a woman, you have to do the same amount of work that they are doing. What a lot of people don't know about the hotel industry, they think it's just cooking and all, but it's really, really, really hectic and tiring. You need to be physically very strong to be doing it, because you need to be standing 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day. I have had to lift 20 kgs of weight and bring it from here to there, and then I remember cutting 10 kgs of chocolate one day and then making 25 kgs of ganache in a 10 kg pot and then having to drag it. Guys won't cut you any slack in the kitchen, but yeah, they'll make fun of your physical abilities if you can't do that. So being a woman, it did hamper me there also. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think not all people are very, not all of them will make you feel inferior. And if you can somehow prove to them your worth and you can show to them that you know you're capable enough, you ultimately do get the respect that you deserve. But it does take time.
And I guess the upside of that is you get to lift weights, so gym ka paisa bach gaya. I know I'm looking at the positive side of things.
True. So I had to lift 10 kgs of chocolate, and then I go to my chef and I'm like, see, chef, I lifted it today. And he's like, okay, hold it in your hand and I'll count to 10. And he actually made me do that exercise then and there. So yeah, a lot of muscle strength. A lot of muscle strength develops when you do that in the kitchen. It's really fun. It's really fun. People do respect you in the end. I have come across some really nice chefs, all of them who happen to be males who really respect you. So it's both ways.
Great, awesome. There's already a lot of audience questions coming in. So guys, keep sending your questions. Obviously, after Mr. Sain's segment, I'll get to the audience questions. So do keep sending them in. आपके कोई भी सवाल है? I suggest, I'm sure after Mr. Sain's segment, after listening to his questions, आपके मन में और भी questions उठेंगे. So do keep sending in the questions. Over to Mr. Sain.
Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. Welcome to the show. Welcome, Muskan. I'm going to start with a very different take on everything. I'm going to make a statement and I want you to react to it. I believe the pastry chef business is in the happiness business.
True.
So being a pastry chef is like being in the business of creating happiness. So what do you have to say about that?
I think that's 100% true because you're always related with the happy events of life. You know, it's a birthday, it's an anniversary, it's a wedding, someone's born, someone's been christened, someone's, you know, come back up from someplace after long. And I think you're always related to the happy moments. People think of you when they cut the cake, they thank you. And yeah, I think you get a lot of blessings. It is one of the happiest professions. Yeah.
And do you feel happy
Totally
creating happiness for people? You know, when people taste your creation.
Definitely. It's one of the best feelings in the world. I think it is because these days, you know, there's so much emphasis that's laid on desserts. There'll be an entire dessert table. There'll be photographs of people cutting the cake. It's such an important moment of everyone's life, and you getting to be a part of it, though not personally, but personally through your art and your creation. I think that's just one of the best things that you could do in the world. And at the end of the day, when someone messages you with a photograph and a message of, you know, how everyone loved the cake so much, you can sleep in peace. Yeah.
So from there, would you say a pastry chef is also creating a legacy? So people remember that event, so the memory is created through the cake and everything. Sometimes a pastry chef is remembered, sometimes not. So what do you think?
I think you do create a legacy through your work, you know. Obviously, it does take time, but once you have reached that place in your profession or your career, maybe, you know, after some years, more than you, people recognize you by your creations. You know, they look at a cake. For us, you know, you look at a cake and you know, okay, this is this chef's work, or this dessert is probably this chef's. It's like you create your identity around your work and your art, and then obviously people do remember you. And yeah, just like I said, how a cake or a dessert is such a central part of events these days. Obviously, people do remember it, especially for whoever was cutting the cake. So I think for me, my wedding cake would be very special, and I would obviously remember it even 10, 20, 30 years after my wedding. You know, oh my God, I cut that cake. And I think it's the same for everyone. So you do create memories and occasions, and you make people feel special.
Brilliant.
Mr.
Can you
Sain?
share a memory? Yeah, sorry, Samant.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a thing to what you said. You know, when you brought up legacy, that reminded me of Amitabh Bachchan with the T. that you see in the theaters. I obviously I'm not going to take the name of the tea. Sponsored nahi hai. But what's said is whenever you drink the tea, the memories or the conversations that you had while drinking the tea before, like maybe 10 years back or 20 years back, you refresh those, you cherish those memories, comes back to you. I guess that's one good thing, one beautiful thing about food in general, and specifically desserts and pastry food as well, is it brings back memories. If you have a certain memory attached to the experience that you had with your friends or family, I think that brings it back, and that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, back to you,
Yeah.
Mr. Sen. So sorry.
No. Actually, that's the right place. What I was going to ask Muskan is, uh, could you share, if it's possible for you to share, where you created a memory and one of your clients or whoever you baked it for was over the moon with happiness and joy?
So there's this one customer who's been a regular for 4 years, and her cakes, I always look forward to making her cakes because she'll never give me a simple order. It's never a cake. Like, I want a cake that looks like a teapot. I want a cake that looks like a KFC bucket. I just did a cake for her very recently, and because of the lockdown, this Ludo King app is very popular, and she wanted a cake that looks like a Ludo. And every year, when she comes to pick up the cake, I more than looking at her, I look at her face, to give the kind of reaction, and then she look at the cake and her face will just light up. And the same happened yesterday when I gave her the Ludo cake. She's like, "Oh my god, this looks like a real Ludo." And then obviously, the moment they cut the cake, they'll send me a message saying, everyone loved the cake. So yesterday she told me how they were cutting the cake with other people on Zoom call, and everyone on Zoom thought that it was a real Ludo. I made it with fondant and stuff. So yeah, it's those kind of feedback. So that one's very special. I made a teapot cake for her, and she walks into so people have to pick it up from my house right now because I don't have a cloud kitchen. I'm planning to look at that. So she walked into my house and so she looked at the teapot cake and she's like, "Oh my god, I thought this is a real teapot." And yeah, those kind of memories. I still remember her expression. I can't forget it. So yeah, that's been a very good memory for me.
Yeah, at those memories and images, it's taken with the heart. You cannot take a photograph of it. It's obvious. I understand.
So yeah, but my it's there in my memory. I captured it.
Right. Now let's dig into your memory a bit. So you must have some experience in your life where you had to come up with something which you will say was your original creation, your signature recipe to say. So would you like to share that a story also behind it, and what came out of it, and what was the memory like?
So I came up with my first signature dessert, a dessert like a proper dessert. While I was doing my course at Levon, we had an activity sort of a thing where every child was supposed to come up with their own dessert recipes to build that dessert. And the challenge was, number one, the dessert had to be something that you could serve in a counter. So it's not a fancy dessert that won't stay on the counter, something that will stay on the counter for at least a day or two. And secondly, it had to be inspired by your real life. I thought and thought and thought of what I wanted to do, and I love plated desserts. I really love the art of plated desserts, where you get that at a 5-star, that experience at a 5-star where there's a dessert and there's these 6-7 components, but you can't do that in a pastry shop. It's not feasible. And I want to do a pastry dessert, and I'm like, what do I do? And this entire thinking and introspection just gave me the idea of striking a chord or striking a fine balance, and I came up with my dessert. I named that as the equilibrium. So I couldn't do a plated dessert, but I did a tart instead. So I did a really small tart. On that I placed a white chocolate disk to replicate a plate, and on that I plated my dessert. And the chef I was discussing it with, he said it's a really nice idea, but the problem is that it's too small a plate to plate on, because a plate is big and you're supposed to have elements. And my plate was like the size of my palm. And I said, okay, let's see. So yeah, that was my signature dessert. It was a tart. It was a vanilla tart with some walnut spun, some spice, cinnamon and star anise, some spice whipped cream. On that, there was this white chocolate dish. And then I poached some pears in red wine, and then I used that and a couple of other elements to, like, I think 3 millimeter cubes. I cut them up, and then I used these tongs and those small things to put them on my plate. So that was my, I think that's the best dessert I've created so far. Not just in terms of the flavors and the textures and the complexity of the elements, but in terms of the story that I was able to put through. Life is never black and white. You don't have to give up if things don't go your way. You need to brainstorm a lot and kind of arrive at a consensus between what you can do and what you cannot do. And it's that midpoint that gives you happiness. The same in my life, I would say. I couldn't do hotel management, but I did a short diploma, and then I couldn't do this or that, but I came midway and I created Risata, and that's how Equilibrium is to be looked at, and that's how it, in the larger scene, it gives you happiness in your life.
Wow, I can quite picture your that dessert, that so on a tart, and you put a plate on top, and yeah, I could see you in my mind doing all those things with a small tweezer or whatever you had to place the elements. That was fantastic, and from your smile, I can see that you were really excited about it.
It was one of the best days of my life in the kitchen. 8 hours here and there creating that dessert. Super fun.
Brilliant. Now, I just want to ask you, there are two types of cakes which I personally like. So one is the cheesecake.
Okay.
So I like the cheesecake. And one is a chocolate cake, which I think everybody loves. Chocolate cake, I think everybody loves. But what would you say, in your opinion, is more popular?
I think the chocolate cake is popular in the sense that people across generations would have it. But if I were to talk about today's generation in very specific, I think they would prefer the cheesecake. But my parents don't know what a cheesecake is. Before doing my course, I did not know what a cheesecake was, because we've grown up eating, those Black Forest cakes with chocolate shavings and all of that. So across the broad spectrum of the population, I think the chocolate cake is much more popular. But yeah, both of them taste heavenly. Both of them taste heavenly.
Yeah.
You're making me hungry now. I feel like running to my kitchen and whipping up some dessert.
Why don't you do that? That might be a good idea, And
so actually, that would be great if you could, speak
Speaking
while
of all those
probably
desserts,
baking something.
making me feel hungry.
Oh yeah. I can quite imagine that. I think Pragya has a question for you. So why I don't give it to Pragya? Pragya, go ahead.
I showed my mom your Risata Wala page on Insta, and she loved seeing all those tasty treats, the lemon tart, and whenever something like that comes up on any of our feeds, so my mom and I, we just think of something. Okay, you know what? Let's just start baking. Let's do something, because she and I, we love baking and experimenting at home. So what I wanted to ask you was this. So you mentioned that you did that professional course in Bangalore, right, at Le Bon Academy. But you might have also felt that maybe doing hotel management might have been a better fit, maybe in terms of how you want to pursue it as a career. So my question was that, do you feel like, do you think back now that maybe, I understand that, you weren't able to pursue that particular course because of personal reasons, but would it have been a much more different journey for you if you'd taken hotel management, in terms of your startup, in terms of maybe how much you're learning, the kind of people you met, etc.? Like, does it feel like a missed opportunity sometimes? That's what I...
It does. Honestly, I'll be very honest, it does feel like a missed opportunity a lot of times. I filled up the step form for hotel management in Oberoi. I didn't submit it because I knew my family wouldn't let me do it. See, the right kind of career choice, the right kind of course that you're doing, it gives you a lot of exposure. It won't teach you the theory and all. Okay, I can still go back and learn that, but I think it's the exposure that I miss. As a hotel management student, you are with 80 or 100 other students who are in the same field as you. There's a lot of exchange of ideas and thoughts. You learn so much more than what you can do in isolation. You do get a chance to do a lot of internships, which then again is very, very, very important for you to start your own venture down the line. And obviously, when you look at job opportunities later, there are a lot of jobs that I am not, eligible for right now. No matter how talented I am, or no matter what I win, 2 years down the lane, I can't qualify for certain jobs because they do require hotel management as an eligibility criteria. And now when I look back at it, I do regret it. I was stubborn enough to convince my dad about everything else in the world. I wish I had convinced him about letting me do HM also. I think, for me now that time is gone, I don't want to think about it and crib about it too much. But it definitely does feel like a missed opportunity. I saw a lot of students at Lavon who've already done hotel management and then come to the course. The kind of knowledge, the kind of experience that they had, it was 10,000 more than what I had. When chefs would ask us to, the trolley that we use in the production house are like wheels and all. So when chef asked me to bring the trolleys from the back of the kitchen to the front, I was intimidated. I mean, I had seen a trolley for the first time in my life, and it was nothing. You just had to hold it by the handles and then walk along with it. It was nothing. But I was in that kind of an environment for the first time. I never knew what a heat gun was. I never knew how to use a blowtorch. Obviously, you tend to then take your own time to pick things up versus people who've been doing it for 4 years. It does matter. It really does. But can't help it now. True.
Great. By the way, Pragya, there's been some feedback that there was a slight voice echo on your end. So एक बार check कर लेना. Yeah, no big deal. So firstly, obviously there are quite a bit of comments. Obviously we have the regulars, Pushkar Das, Anita ji, and then Shikha ji as usual. So let's see. Firstly, there's a question by Pushkar Das who asks, which is the most complicated and time-consuming dessert or pastry that you have prepared? Is it equilibrium?
No, equilibrium wasn't that. Okay, I think there have been a lot. I wouldn't call it a dessert, but the most complicated dessert is like I have made in my life was a chocolate showpiece. It was a 3-day class to make one showpiece. Yeah, that was I think the most complicated thing I made, and I fear chocolates. That's one area where I am trying to, I practice every day and I try and make chocolates, but I am not perfect at that. So I took us 3 days. We were working in a team of 4. It took us 3 days to build one showpiece. So our theme was a circus theme, and we made an entire showpiece that was about 2 feet high, entirely from chocolate and completely edible. So we had the entire tent, and then we had those, carousel and those horses, and those circus and Joker's cap and everything. So everything was made from chocolate, including the molds that you use to, make the showpiece. We made them from scratch. Very, very intense, very difficult with respect to the skill you require. 3 days, 4 people, one showpiece. I think that itself speaks about how complicated it was. So yeah, I think that's the most complicated thing I have worked on. But if you were to speak about a dessert, I think again it depends from chef to chef. Just like I said, chocolate is not something that I'm very confident about. So it's something that I take slowly. But yeah, there's something known as a croquembouche. It's made up of profiteroles and caramel and stuff like that, and you build it in a cone shape. I think that's also one of the most complicated desserts I've made because again we were working in a team and we had this aluminum so we had a chart paper, we rolled it into a cone, then we covered it with foil, and then we were sticking those small, let's say something like donut holes, if I were to explain it to you what that means. Like those profiteroles we were sticking with caramel, and we built a cone halfway so it looks like a pyramid, and then we took out the cone niche se, and the entire croquembouche fell apart. And that was after 8 hours of having worked on the croquembouche. I think it's very intense, require a lot of patience to do that. So yeah, that's hands on the most complicated thing I've ever worked on.
Yeah,
Great, awesome. Yeah, Mr. Sen.
Someone go through your audience questions and I'll get back.
No, it's okay. We have a few audience questions. You can speak. That's not an issue.
Oh, okay. She was talking about chocolate mousse. And that's a very interesting thing, actually. And it's something that always brings a lot of smiles and laughter to everybody's face. What favorite of many of people. Now, other than cakes, what other thing is a hot favorite among people?
Honestly, thank you for asking that question. People who are listening, people who want to be bakers or pastry chefs and are not able to convince their parents or convince themselves, I want to put one message across, and I think this is a great platform to do that. Contrary to popular belief that it's just cakes and pastries and cupcakes and cookies, if you go into the field of baking and patisserie in specific, you will be bombarded and awestruck by the kind of products that are out there. I mean, there are things called petit gâteaux, there are things called petit fours. Then there are chocolate showpieces, there are fondant, and chocolate in itself is a field of study. Breads. People don't realize, the intricacies of bread. For them, it's just a white sandwich loaf and a brown sandwich loaf. But if you actually go into the field, bread in itself, people have been studying it for years and years and years, and they're still trying to perfect it. So I think it's a very, very vast field. Bread's completely different, chocolate completely different, pastry completely different. Then there's cake art and fondant and cake finishing, which is completely different. Then there's sugar art, where you make showpieces just out of sugar. There's chocolate showpieces where you make it just out of chocolate. So yeah, people who want to be a pastry chef, or people who don't approve of this as a career, I think it would make a lot of sense for you to kind of go and look at how far the world has progressed when it comes to desserts. Because I experience this personally a lot. People, when I try and explain to them what to do, say they're like cake pastry, cake pastry, cake pastry. And I'm like, it's so much more than cake pastry. And I think a lot of awareness, especially in metropolitan cities, just like you said, the cheesecake. When I was 16, I never had a cheesecake in my life. You will only get a few cakes in your bakeries. Things like cheesecakes are becoming very popular. Things like bonbons, which people hadn't heard of earlier, they're becoming popular. Mousse, like you said earlier, mousse was very different from what a good mousse is available now. So yeah, things like that are becoming really, really popular. There are still a lot of things out there that we as chefs can do and offer to the people, but at the end of the day, it all just boils down to profit making and stuff, and how people would respond to it. So a lot of people stick to conventional desserts, but yeah, I'm very happy at seeing the kind of response that other desserts are getting. Something like choux pastry. A lot of people these days know what choux pastry or an eclair is, or what churros are. So yeah, I think these things are becoming popular, and maybe in another 5 years, people will be much more aware of the different kinds of desserts. Croissants, for example, croissants are becoming very popular these days. People are going crazy over croissants and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole long list, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. Actually, it doesn't stop. And it's a delight. The only downside of all these desserts and cakes is one tends to put on a lot of weight.
True.
But that's a happy thing to do, if you ask me.
Like, happy calories,
no,
if you would say.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not. It's not happy to put on weight. I can confirm.
See, you're laughing, so it must be happy.
They are happy
Why do you think
calories. They
yes?
don't mind. They don't matter. It's okay.
Yeah. Now, I want to come to a movie. I don't know if you have seen it. And I'm thinking someone is going to jump with this. There is a movie which is about food. It's called The 100-Foot Journey. I don't know if you have seen it or you've heard of it. It's a 100-foot journey. It's about where Om Puri is one of the central figures. And this is an Indian family who lands up in France.
Yeah.
And there's a French lady 100 foot across the street who runs a restaurant, and this French Indian family runs a restaurant. And the story is how the Indian boy, the son, is taken under the wings of the French lady, who is recognized star chef, and he goes on to become the best chef in France. So people, if you really want to become a chef, go and watch the 100-foot journey. It's going to inspire you to do crazy things and wild things. And the test of all that was to cook an omelet. So if you can cook a perfect omelet, that's your entry into the chef club. Now, would you want to say anything about an omelet? a simple omelette that is there.
A lot of chefs have told me this story. Even in their trade test, they're asked to poach an egg perfectly and bake an omelette perfectly. Yeah, I think the French, they give a lot of focus to egg because it's the primary ingredient of a lot of things. So yeah, I think it's a valid entry test. If you can make a perfect omelette, you're fit enough to go. If you can't do that, I'm sorry. And I think it's more to do with getting perfection in your basics. I think that's what the entire concept behind this is. If you can poach an egg perfectly, or if you can make an omelette perfectly, if you have mastery over all of your basics, you can do anything else in the world.
And one of the craziest and the best omelets I have tasted is the Spanish omelet. Where they take
Yeah.
the egg and they bake it with a lot of potatoes. So it comes out like a cake, a pie, but it's
Yeah.
actually an omelette.
It's an
So
omelette.
that's quite interesting.
It's
And,
crazy the kind of things they're doing.
Yeah, and so Muskan, are we going to get a sort of a share of a recipe or a share of how to come up with something very simple when someone comes and you don't have the time to do it, and people are something that you can quickly put together with stuff that is there. If such a thing is possible, why not? You think you can help? Think about it.
Yeah,
Think
I
about
think
it.
in terms of baked desserts, you will require a lot of time in the sense that it needs to bake. But yeah, let me think about it. A quick dessert.
Yeah, while you think
Yeah.
about it, Samant, why don't you go to the audience and see what questions they have? While Muskan does the thinking in the background.
Yeah.
Get my quickest recipe would be take my motorcycle, go to the bakery, get a cake, eat it.
I wouldn't even bother to do that. My quickest recipe would be take out my smartphone, go there, get to Swiggy and order something and sit back. That'll come.
Mr. Sen, I like to save my money, but save a bit of money. But
Okay, go
मुस्कान
ahead.
एक हाँ the next question मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ हमारे ITA के students के लिए there are a lot of girls who want to be a cook or you know pastry chef. They want to उनका खुद का open करना है. तो अगर हिंदी में आप बता सकते हो मे बी उनको कोई guidance दे सकते हो आप and how to become a chef if that's fine with you.
Sure. See, पहले तो if you want to be a chef, अगर आप कर सकते हो तो hotel management से better कोई option नहीं है because hotel management 4 years का course होगा. It will teach you everything, ना कि baking but Indian cuisine, Chinese cuisine, Mexican cuisine, cuisines from around the world. Very important. Hotel management में you can do internships. Internships जो आपको मिलेंगी जितना आप hotels में काम करोगे, जो आप स्कूल में सीखते हो या जो आप कॉलेज में सीखते हो वो बहुत डिफरेंट है क्योंकि आप एक बहुत ही प्रॉपर किचन में होते हो. आपके पास सारे हाई क्लास हाई टेक्नोलॉजी टूल्स होते हैं. सब कुछ ऑर्डर में होता है, सब कुछ बहुत तहजीब से होता है. बट जब आप एक एक्चुअली बेकरी में जाओगे, आप एक प्रोडक्शन में जाओगे, पहला रिएक्शन होता है ओ माय गॉड, इतनी छोटी जगह में इतना काम करना पॉसिबल कैसे है. एंड आई थिंक ट्रेनिंग एक रियल रेस्टोरेंट या एक रियल होटल या एक रियल बेकरी में जाके जब आप काम करते हो, जो आप चीजें सीख सकते हो वो आप किसी भी स्कूल किसी भी एकेडमी में कभी नहीं सीख पाओगे बिकॉज रियल में चीजें बहुत अलग से होती है. स्कूल में कॉलेज में आपको हमेशा वही चीज सिखाई जाएंगी जो सही है, असलियत में वैसा नहीं होता है. तो होटल मैनेजमेंट तो बहुत ही जरूरी है, उसके साथ ट्रेनिंग करना बहुत बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है क्योंकि वो जो आप चीजें सीख पाओगे वही एक्चुअली आपको हेल्प करेंगे बाद में अपना खुद का बिजनेस शुरू करने में. ये तो पढ़ाई की बात हो गई. इसके अलावा हमेशा हम सोचते हैं कि अभी नहीं, 1 साल बाद 2 साल बाद ये हो जाए, उसके बाद. अगर आप ऐसे सोचते रहोगे तो बस सोचते ही रह जाओगे. वो मैंने अपने साथ भी देखा है. जब मैंने शुरू किया था, आई जस्ट हैड एक ओवन. आई रिमेम्बर जब मैंने अपना पहला केक दिया था, मेरे को इतना भी सेंस नहीं था कि अच्छा मैं केक दे रही हूँ, साथ में कैंडल और नाइफ मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बन के देना. तो मैं कस्टमर से ये भी पूछना भूल गई थी कि केक पे हैप्पी बर्थडे के आगे नाम क्या लिखना है. और वो उस समय बहुत मैटर करती क्योंकि वो एक 6 साल के बच्चे का बर्थडे केक था, तो उसको अपना नाम ऑब्वियसली देखना था केक पे. गलतियां होती है, बहुत गलतियां होती है. आप बहुत कुछ सीखते हो. अभी भी कितनी चीजें होती है जो मैं 4 साल बिजनेस करने के बाद भी मुझे रियलाइज होते कि हाँ ऐसा करने से शायद बेटर हो जाए. एक बारी के लिए इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट बट टेक द स्टेप, स्टार्ट कर दो। शायद सिर्फ घर से, मैं अभी सिर्फ घर से काम कर रही हूँ, 4 साल से सिर्फ घर से काम कर रहे हैं, अपनी छोटी सी किचन में अपने स्टडी टेबल पे किसी तरह जगह मैनेज करके काम करा है मैंने, ऑर्डर्स लिए हैं, स्टॉल्स लगाए हैं। स्टार्टिंग में बहुत मुश्किल होता है, बट एक बार ट्राई करके देखो, बिकॉज यू नेवर नो, आपको कभी पता ही नहीं आपके अंदर कितना पोटेंशियल है, बट जब आप करोगे, जब पीपल अप्रिशिएट करेंगे, अपने आप चीजें सॉर्ट होती है, अपने आप रास्ते खुल जाते हैं, अपने आप समझ आते हैं कि क्या कैसे करना है। कभी भी परफेक्ट टाइम नहीं होगा शुरू करने के लिए, नाउ इज द परफेक्ट टाइम। आप स्टार्ट करो एंड लाइक टेक यू टू प्लेसेस।
और आपने जो बताया कि होटल मैनेजमेंट अगर ऑप्शन है तो दैट वुड बी द बेस्ट, सही तरीका होगा आपको उस रास्ते में जाने के लिए। लेकिन हमारे आईटीआई के स्टूडेंट्स जो है उनके पास फाइनेंशियली उतना लग्जरी है नहीं उनको कि होटल मैनेजमेंट कोर्स कर पाए। तो अगर बिना कोई फॉर्मल एजुकेशन का, बिना कोई डिग्री का या डिप्लोमा का, आप क्या सजेशन देंगे जो कि एक प्रोफेशनल शेफ या बनना चाहते हैं?
बहुत सारी बेकरीज हैं जो जरूरी नहीं है कि प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन मांगे। जैसे मैं प्लान कर रही हूँ कुछ स्टार्ट करने का, मुझे भी 1-2 लोग चाहिए होंगे। मैं अगर मुझे कोई मेरे सामने है जो मुझे पता है बहुत पैशनेट है, जो कुछ करना चाहता है, अगर उसके पास फॉर्मल एजुकेशन नहीं भी तो भी मैं उसको रखना चाहूंगी, मैं उस बंदे को सिखाना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि पैशन कितनी बड़ी चीज है। या अगर हाँ सामने वाला इंसान सीखना चाहता है तो हर्जी क्या है किसी को कुछ सिखाने में। और मेरे जैसे बहुत बेकरीज है, होटल्स वगैरह मांगते हैं क्वालिफिकेशंस, बट हर होटल या 3 स्टार होटल्स में भी या रेस्टोरेंट या लोकल बेकरीज नहीं मांगते हैं। तो अगर आप नहीं कर सकते होटल मैनेजमेंट तो इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, जस्ट गो टू अ बेकरी, किसी भी बेकरी से आप जाके बात कर सकते हैं। अगर आपके पास बेसिक लेवल ऑफ एजुकेशन है, वो आपको रख लेंगे, दे विल गिव यू सैलरी। शुरू में ऑब्वियसली आपको बहुत छोटा छोटा काम दिया जाएगा, पर वो होटल में भी होता है कि सिर्फ मैदा वे कर दो या ये वे कर दो या ट्रे पे पेपर काट के लगा दो, तेल लगा दो, अवन से चीजें निकाल दो, अवन में चीजें रख दो। बट ऐसे ही शुरू होता है सब। इवन बड़े बड़े शेफ्स ऐसे ही शुरू करते हैं होटल में जाके। सबसे पहले काम सबको यही मिलता है, ट्रेस क्लीन कर दो। जब मैं भी ट्रेनिंग करने जाती हूँ तो क्लीनिंग डे है, टेबल स्क्रब कर दो, सामान सॉर्ट कर दो, ये कर दो वो कर दो। बट अगर आप करना चाहते हैं तो ऐसे शुरू करिए किसी बेकरी में जाके, एज एन वेल उनको देखिएगा कि आप रियली पैशनेट है या आपके अंदर वो टैलेंट है, तो दे विल लेट यू इन, वो आपको सिखाएंगे। मैंने पर्सनली कितने लोगों को, आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो इट, देयर इज अ कंपटीशन कॉल्ड वर्ल्ड स्किल्स। पूरे वर्ल्ड के हर कंट्री से रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स जाते हैं वहाँ पे कॉम्पीट करने। इंडिया में लवॉन के थ्रू जाते हैं लोग। तो इस साल, पिछले साल रादर, जो लड़का गया है वर्ल्ड स्किल्स इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करने, वो हाउस कीपिंग था, वो बर्तन धोता था लवॉन में। उसको इंग्लिश भी नहीं आती, उनको फॉर्मल एजुकेशन भी नहीं है, वो बर्तन धोते थे, उनको शौक था। तो बट जब ड्यूटी खत्म होने के बाद वो शेफ्स की हेल्प करके ब्रेड वगैरह बनाते थे। और हमारे जो सीनियर शेफ है उन्होंने नोटिस करा कि हाँ उस बंदे में टैलेंट, उनको ट्रेन किया। एंड नाउ एज कम्पेयर टू जितने क्वालिफाइड शेफ्स है, वो इंसान जाके पूरी कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट करके आ रहा है वर्ल्ड में, बहुत बड़ी बात है। तो अगर आप एक्चुअली में करना चाहते हैं तो जस्ट अप्लाई टू अ बेकरी या रेस्टोरेंट, वो आपको ले लेंगे। एंड उसके बाद आपके ऊपर है कि आप कितनी मेहनत करते हैं, कितनी डेडिकेशन से आप काम करते हैं, देन यू कैन रीच हाइट्स।
Yep. If
Thank
you
you
have the
so
talent,
much.
if you have the passion, you're going to make it.
ट्रू।
राइट, और थैंक यू सो मच। ये वाला पर्टिकुलर जो क्वेश्चन आपने आंसर किया है ये डायरेक्टली हमारे आईटीआई के स्टूडेंट्स को जाएगा, आई थिंक ऑन देयर बिहाफ, क्योंकि वो बाद में देखेंगे। उनके बिहाफ पे आई वांट टू थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट आंसर specifically.
जो है
Now back to the audience questions. There's a question, there's a big question by Antaripa De, who asks, I recently dropped out from an engineering college in Kolkata because I wanted to pursue my dream of baking. I have recently started a home bakery. Do you have any advice on how to move forward? इनका एक follow-up comment था. Among the diploma colleges in India in patisserie, which college would you personally recommend? Is a diploma an absolute necessity in starting a bakery or a food business?
Okay. With respect to the courses or the institute, I would like to answer that first. I am a true Lavonite by heart. Lavon, has given me everything that I could have asked for. So if you ask me for my personal suggestion, I would say Lavon hands down. That being said, whether to do a diploma or not to do it depends on the kind of dream or vision that you have for your business. So my diploma was only recently. After my class 12th, I did an 18-day course, and then I ran my home bakery very, very successfully for 3 years, just on the basis of what I had learned in those 18 days. Uh, the reason I went to Lavon is because I wanted to be much more than a home baker. I wanted to do authentic French desserts and take Risata to the next level. If you, again, that depends on you or the kind of family that you belong, the kind of situation that you are in. If you want to run a successful home bakery, a full-time diploma may not be necessary for you, in the sense that you will obviously have to put in a lot of time, money as an investment into it. But for it is a must. I would highly suggest you, if not a diploma, do a 15-day course like I did. Do a 6-week course instead. A lot of institutes offer that, a 6-week course or a 1-month course. Do that because just like I also said earlier, getting your basics right is very, very, very important. That one-time investment will save you a lot of money that you would otherwise waste in your trial and error in the kitchen. You are going to get certification. You're going to get exposure. You're going to get the chance to interact with so many people like you out there. It just broadens your vision. uh, I would highly suggest doing some course at least. And as far as your home bakery is concerned, one advice that I would like to give any and every home baker out there is never to compromise on your quality. The reason why people are paying a high price to order products from you and not go to a local bakery out there is because they tend to have a sort of a trust in the kind of ingredients that you're using, the kind of quality that you're offering them. It doesn't make sense to cheat your customers. Use the best quality of ingredients that are possible. Give your 100% to each and every cake, even if it's a half kg cake, even if it's 4 cupcakes, or even if it's a fancy 10 kg cake. Every order is very important. I respect each and every order. I respect each and every customer. So yeah, worship your job and do it very, very diligently. Put your 100% in whatever you do. Never compromise on the quality. Never compromise on the kind of orders that you're doing. And then yeah, definitely plan on taking it to the next level.
Great, fantastic. And Antaripade, all the best for your pursuit. I know dropping out of an engineering college to pursue baking, that's a huge step. And since you have already taken that step, I think you're on the right direction in following your passion. So all the best from I, on behalf of Pro Bono and the team Pro Bono, all the best. And if you need any support or you need to connect with Muskanji, is that fine? How can the people connect with you?
They can either reach out to me directly on.
There's a question by Aditya Bose who could not join us today. He was taking a class with the ITA students. So he asked, glad to hear you describe your journey so passionately, Muskan. When you decided to take the plunge and become an entrepreneur, starting your own home bakery, what did your parents say? Was it difficult to explain this decision to them initially? और एक और चीज, just a small heads up, this question also applies to the ITA students again. तो मैं एक बार हिंदी में भी बोल देता हूँ ताकि when this video goes out to them, they get motivated. तो आदित्य जी पूछ रहे हैं, जब आपने डिसाइड किया कि आप अपना खुद का होम बेकरी ओपन करेंगे, खुद एंटरप्रेन्योर बनेंगे, तो आपके पेरेंट्स ने क्या कहा? ये आपका डिसीजन उनको बताने में आपको कोई दिक्कत हुई तो उनका रिएक्शन कैसा था, अगर आप बता सकते हैं?
पापा वाज शॉक्ड. 12 years टॉप करा, 12th में 97% आए. पापा बोल रहे, इतना पढ़े हो, डॉक्टर इंजीनियर बनने, ये शेफ का क्या शौक है? शेफ कौन बनता है? डॉक्टर बनो, इंजीनियर बनो, टीचर बनो. उनके लिए आई अंडरस्टैंड, उनके लिए समझना बहुत मुश्किल है कि एक शेफ क्या होता है. अगेन वो केक पेस्ट्री तक ही रह जाती है उनके लिए. ही वाजंट सपोर्टिव. उन्होंने मना कर दिया साफ, होटल मैनेजमेंट नहीं करनी, पढ़ाई करो. डीयू में हिंदू कॉलेज, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट कॉलेजेस, नॉर्थ कैंपस में एडमिशन मिल रहा था इंग्लिश ऑनर्स में. उन्होंने बोला वही करना है, होटल मैनेजमेंट का तो सवाल ही नहीं है. बोला ठीक है, क्योंकि उस समय मैं भी मेरे पास कुछ था नहीं जिसको मैं दिखा के उन्हें कन्विंस कर सकूं. तो मैंने बोला ठीक है, मैं उनकी बात मान गई, पर अपनी बात पे भी अड़ी रही. आप होटल मैनेजमेंट नहीं करने दोगे, मैं उनकी बात भी समझती हूँ. हमारे पेरेंट्स हैं, हमारे बारे में अच्छा चाहते हैं, उनको भी पता है कि आगे जाके क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी. होटल्स में ना आने का टाइम होता है ना जाने का टाइम होता है, छुट्टियां नहीं मिलती है, क्रिसमस होली दिवाली पे काम करने जाना पड़ता है। मैंने कहा ठीक है, आप मुझे वो नहीं करने दे रहे हो, आप मुझे 15 डेज का कोर्स करने दो, अभी मैं फ्री हूँ, उसके बाद हम देखते हैं क्या होता है। उसके लिए भी बहुत मुश्किल हुई, बट मेरी मॉम बहुत सपोर्टिव है, तो उन्होंने कन्विंस कर दिया मुझे, तो वो मान गई। पापा अप्रिशिएट नहीं करते थे मेरा ये डिसीजन, उनके लिए शौक था। बट जब मैंने 15 डेज का कोर्स किया, उसके बाद मैंने ऑर्डर्स लेना शुरू करा। लोग आते थे ऑर्डर्स लेने, तारीफ करते थे, मुझे मैसेज करते थे व्हाट्सएप पे कि केक बहुत अच्छा था, सबको बहुत पसंद आया, ये वो। पापा को बताती थी, मैं उन्हें दिखाती थी। केक इंडस्ट्री हमारे प्रोफेशन में अगर आप घर से करते हो तो प्रॉफिट मार्जिन बहुत ज्यादा होता है, क्योंकि बेसिकली आप प्रॉफिट इन द सेंस आप टाइम बहुत लगाएंगे पर आपके टाइम के पैसे हैं। एक केक बनाने में आपको आराम से 4 दिन भी लग सकते हैं, आपको 6 दिन भी लग सकते हैं। कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स आप केक बना रहे हैं, कितना आप उस पर फूल बना रहे हैं, क्या आप फॉन्डेंट से काम कर रहे हैं, आप अपने टाइम के लिए पैसे ले रहे हैं। तो अल्टीमेटली काफी प्रॉफिटेबल है ये काम। तो जब एंड दिस इज वन मेजर फैक्टर प्रॉफिटेबल, कि आप अपने आप को सस्टेन कर पा रहे हैं। नहीं तो टाइम लगेगा पेरेंट्स को कन्विंस करने में, बट डोंट गिव अप, करिए, आप अपना काम शुरू करिए, छोटे स्केल पे करिए, आप दिखाइए अपने पेरेंट्स को कि हाँ लोग तारीफ कर रहे हैं आपके काम की, प्रॉफिटेबल है, आप पैसा कमा पा रहे हैं, आप खुद को सस्टेन कर पा रहे हैं। आई थिंक पेरेंट्स एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मान जाएंगे। वो हमेशा मना करेंगे शेफ बनने के लिए शुरू में, क्योंकि उनकी जनरेशन के लोग कभी शेफ बने ही नहीं, उनके आसपास के लोग डॉक्टर इंजीनियर बने, उनके रिश्तेदारों के बच्चे डॉक्टर इंजीनियर बने, उनको ये लगता है कि डॉक्टर इंजीनियर एक अच्छा काम है। उनको पता ही नहीं कि एक शेफ का काम क्या होता है, या एक शेफ एक्चुअली में क्या क्या कर पाता है। अगर आप अपने काम के थ्रू उनको प्रूव कर सकते हैं, थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, 2 महीने, 3 महीने, 4 महीने, साल लगेगा, उसके बाद वो मान जाएंगे। मेरे पेरेंट्स मान गए, फिर मैंने जाके उन्हें बोला कि हाँ अब 3 साल हो गए, मैंने आपकी बात मान ली, मैंने इंग्लिश ऑनर्स कर दिया, पर अब मुझे लमवान जाना है। तो उसके बाद उन्होंने मना नहीं किया, समझ गए कि हाँ अच्छा काम है, मैं अच्छे से कर रही हूँ, यही काम है जो मैं अपनी पूरी जिंदगी करना चाहती हूँ। अल्टीमेटली वो मान गए। टाइम लगेगा, हिम्मत मत हारिए, बस बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, बट फिर एंड में इट्स ऑल वर्थ इट।
ग्रेट, बहुत ही बढ़िया। और वो मैसेज है हमारे ITI स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, सो ऑल द बेस्ट टू देम एज वेल। तो हिम्मत कभी मत हारना, यू हैव टू कीप परसुइंग। और एक आखिरी क्वेश्चन होगा फ्रॉम कार्तिक शर्मा हु आस्क्ड, व्हाट वाज योर बिगेस्ट चैलेंज विद दिस जर्नी?
My biggest challenge with this journey, I think, convincing my parents, which I've already spoken about it, and actually deciding to take the plunge. I was getting into SRCC. It's the finest college in the country for BCom. Everyone wants to get into SRCC. I turned out that opportunity. Till date, I have been turning down a lot of opportunities. I know if I can study, given how brilliant I was in academics, I could have reached greater heights in my life. I could have easily become, someone who was easily earning a lakh a month. I would have gone to that post. It's a daily struggle, to be very honest, that I fight with myself with respect to what I could do. The society isn't very encouraging, to be honest. People will obviously come and ask you about why did not you study further, or why are you doing this, or this could have been a better option. It does affect you, no matter how strong you are. That is one challenge that I have been facing on and off. But yeah, I think with every little or major achievement that I do, be it getting featured on a website, or being written about on some website, or even coming live and you guys giving me the chance to talk about my opportunity, it makes me feel like I'm on the right track. It makes me feel that what I'm doing is actually worth it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I just want to
And of
comment on
course,
what you said.
yeah,
Samant,
yeah,
I
Mr.
just
Chen.
want to comment on what Muskan said. So she had a why. She loved baking. She loved making cakes. But I think her defining and what defines her is how she has been living her life, how she has decided to create happiness for the people. And I think that is something that we all need to learn. Back to you, Samant.
Yeah, अभी तो 7 बज गए हैं, and with that, the final question that I want to ask is, what is your message to aspiring cooks, aspiring chef, and also more specifically pastry chefs? What's your message to them?
I think believe in your passion, believe in yourself, believe in the cause that you're upholding. As pastry chefs, as entrepreneurs, as home bakers, as cooks, anyone in the food industry, people will look down upon you a lot. It's happened with me. It happens with me even till date, no matter how successful you become. There will be someone looking down upon you, upon your career choices, and claiming themselves to be the better person. Don't take it to the heart. Believe, just like I said, believe in your passion. What you're doing is for a cause. You're not just bringing happiness to other people's life. You're not just making them happy through your food and your art and your creations. You're making yourself happy at the end of the day. uh, just give your 100% to whatever you do. Do everything very, very passionately, and it'll take you more time than what it might take the others. People around you will become more successful than what you are right now. uh, but I think at the end of the day, I can guarantee personally that you will have a much more satisfied and a much more content life than them if you are doing what it is that pleases you, and what is it that makes you happy. And I think that's the entire purpose of life. If you can spend a day doing your work, not feeling bad about it, being happy about what you're doing, and go back and sleep in peace, looking at the kind of happiness you spread, I think you've lived a very decent life, and that's the goal of it.
Spot on. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to add anything more to that. That's well said. But I do want to end on a quote that I picked up from Muskan. That is obviously paraphrase kar diya hai. If I take word to word, that's but as Muskan said, when I see the smile on people's face when they eat my food, that's what makes me happy that I followed my passion. With that being said, thank you so much, Mr. Sen, Pragya. Thank you so much for coming to the audience. Thank you for your questions, comments, and insights. And of course, Muskan, thank you so much for coming. Guys, do check out her Instagram
Thank
handle.
you so
You
much
will
for having me over.
right. You'll
Thank
find
you.
her page tagged on our latest
Thank you.
Instagram post. Do find it. So stay home, stay safe, wash your hands. अभी जा सकते हो, लेकिन try to stay indoors now unless it's like completely safe, unless it's an emergency. Like and follow our Facebook page and turn on post notifications to get notified when we do go live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our entrepreneurship videos, live streams. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. with another guest. Take care now. Bye-bye. See you next tomorrow. And also, guys, we'll be playing a video of my Muskan. So do stay tuned for just a little bit longer. There's a video coming up. See you tomorrow.
Guys, I'm Muskan. I'm a 22-year-old entrepreneur and a pastry chef. At one or the other point of time in our lives, all of us have to make a career choice. For me, that was right after my class 12th, when I had the option of doing a very intellectual and conventional career, such as a CA or a doctor or an engineer, or I had the option of leaving everything beside and then, following my dream and my passion of becoming a pastry chef. I decided to follow my dream, and now, even though I did a degree in English literature from Hindu College, I also managed to do a couple of courses in baking and patisserie. I did a few internships and a few trainings here and there, and that's how I started my own home venture. It's been 4 years since Risata has been running now. We've been doing pretty well. I also managed to go to Lavon Academy in Bangalore to do their 6-month course in baking and patisserie. Now I'm a certified pastry chef, and I'm planning to take Risata to the next level. That being said, I believe that a lot of us tend to make a lot of wrong career choices at the initial stages in our life. Not deliberately, but obviously because of the fact that we don't have the right kind of career guidance and support that we would be needing. The same happened with me because I did not do hotel management, because I did not realize the very importance of the course in my career later on, which is why I did suffer, at least in some magnitude, throughout my journey. However, that being said, a lot of career guidance platforms and websites are available to help you guys out, to help you make the right kind of career choices, to give you the right kind of network and bring you in contact with people just like you who can help you out through their experience.
Pro Bono is an amazing platform for the same. I have checked out their website and their Insta handle. I have personally spoken to some of the members of their team, and I do realize the kind of work that they're doing, the kind of effort that they're putting into the work, and how dedicated their entire team is. I think you should definitely get in touch with one of them, speak to them about what they're offering and what do you have to take from them, because if you do make the right kind of career choice right now, it will provide a boost to your career later on. And unlike a lot of us who suffered because of lack of guidance, I think you will be taking the right step in the right direction, and sometimes that's what precisely matters in the long run for you to be able to become a successful businessman or an entrepreneur or a successful professional later on in life. Yeah, so that's about it.